Hey everybody, before we get into this review of Spider-Man Far From Home, I just want to let you know about our sponsor. It's a film called Sir John A. and the Curse of the Anti-Quenched. It stars John Dunsworth from Trailer Park Boys, Spenny from Kenny vs. Spenny, and the Diener from Fubar. You can check it out on iTunes, Amazon, or wherever you get your movies. Check out curseoftheantiquenched.com. Okay, we're going to get into our 10-minute review of Spider-Man Far From Home, and I'm hitting the 10-minute timer now.
It sucked.
It sucked? You didn't like it?
No, I actually really liked it. I don't know what my expectations were going in. I mean, it's a big thing to follow for Endgame.
Yeah, I feel you.
But I think it was the perfect kind of movie for an after Endgame kind of thing. After that whole
They dealt with
thing,
the
blip.
the snap or the blip like really well, I thought.
Well, the snap and the blip are two different things, right? The snap is when they disappeared,
Right, and the blip
is kind of
when
like
they
what
came back.
happened, and then when they came back, I guess is the
Yeah. I thought they dealt with it pretty well, and they, they got it over with really quick.
Yeah, they did.
and went on with
And
it.
I love how it starts, right? Like you got Whitney Houston playing, and everyone just starts bursting out laughing because it's like, oh no! And then in memoriam, I'm like, oh, it's like high school kids doing this. You could
Yeah.
just tell, right? Like it's like, oh yeah, you've seen this like 1,000 times at your school. And then the Getty images. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah, that was
Love
funny.
Love that.
I do like the attention to detail. Like it puts the Avengers on a almost different scale too. Like how big they are in comparison to even a Spider-Man or
I mean,
or whomever.
I mean, really, RDJ or I guess Iron Man, Tony Stark is really like the cameo in this movie because you can see him everywhere in the background.
Yeah, I suppose, eh?
It's like almost every shot you see like pictures of Iron Man or like portraits of Iron Man in the background. Like,
So, did you? I don't know a ton about Mysterio, but I do know like he is like a liar for the most part. But in the comics, he does come from another dimension, does he not? Or
does he? I thought he was just some dude.
he's just a dude.
I don't
eh?
know enough about Mysterio. I knew, obviously, going in, I knew Mysterio that he's a bad guy, right? I've watched the cartoons back when I was a kid, and I had my doubts the whole way through, and my doubts were made accurate when I was like, oh no, he's the bad guy. Is the fight with the fire monster?
Right.
Where Spider-Man hits that drone. At first you're like, what the hell did he just hit? And it goes flying off. I was like, oh, there it is. Like that.
Yeah,
Like
he's
100%
the guy.
there's something hiding right there. That's like illusion.
I really like the tie-in though. Like I know like how I kind of was hoping maybe they were opened up to a bigger universe.
But that's the thing, that the multiverse has already technically been introduced. Strange,
I guess.
introduced
it.
the multiverse.
But it hasn't. I don't know. To me, it hasn't been confirmed in my mind. But maybe I'm off.
You're just waiting for like the other characters to kind of be like exactly like how Spider-Man did it. Like there's a multiverse.
Yeah, essentially. But so I did like the tie-in and how they showed you, right from was it Civil War, how they had this technology and he's using that technology.
I loved it. Yeah, they show you like the fart.
Did you know? Okay, so the guy that
From Iron Man 1?
Jeff Bridges is yelling at.
Yeah.
That's the little boy from Christmas Story.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Peter Billingsley. He's like a producer in
awesome.
Hollywood, and he produced Iron Man 1 and 2.
So that's why he was probably in it.
Yeah, because I think he's a producer.
I
on
love
all of
those
them.
little I love that callback, and
Yeah,
I thought it was great. And then when they go back to that guy, I was like, oh crap, it is that guy.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then
I love that it's a team effort. Like I know Mysterio, I'm pretty sure works alone, like in these illusions, but this like felt more real in terms of like I like where they go with the Spider-Man villains, and they make him more realistic. Like Vulture is a lot more realistic than he is in the cartoons and like comics, instead of like that old dude with the weird suit. Like, you know what I mean? Like they give them more purpose and they make it have more sense. And I love Jake's performance in this. Like as soon as it's like, as soon as he leaves and everything's coming up, you're like, what? Like, what the hell's happening? He's like, yeah, all right. And he's like, I love that scene. It's both kind of a little like silly, but at the same time, you're having fun with it. He's like, congratulations to this person and this person. I was like, what is happening? I don't know what is happening exactly, but I'm loving it.
Did you Oh, I just lost my train. Oh yeah, did you know Jake Gyllenhaal was the runner-up?
I had heard that for the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Yeah.
Which I think that he would have been good, but just same as Maguire, like still too old for high school.
I mean, Jake Gyllenhaal probably would have looked younger at the time.
Okay, well, going with just the evolution of the Spider-Man as a character, I did find one gripe I will say is it is like a copy and paste like story beats, same as the first one. Peter Parker likes a girl. Peter Parker's trying to get closer to the girl. He's got a suit. He's going to lose the suit at one point. He has a bad guy who he thinks is this one thing, but then it turns out it's someone close to him, you know?
Yeah. It follows a little bit. I feel like it's kind of like the gripe of Incredibles 2.
Yeah.
Which, spoiler alert on that, it follows almost the exact identical thing as the first one. I still enjoy it.
I do too.
They take a fresh take on it, but at the same time, you can feel the familiarity of it.
That's just it. That being said, though, like I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I mean, we got to talk about it. But after credit scene, J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh man, when I finished that movie, I thought it was a good movie. Like I enjoyed it. I'm like, this is a good Spider-Man movie. And then when the end credit scene happens, and he's like literally just swinging across New York, you get that feeling of that Sam Raimi Spider-Man. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then that news thing happens, and like it shows you Mysterio providing like that holy crap like bomb on us, and I'm like, oh shit. And I think I'm pretty sure I said that out loud. Like I was kind of loud there at that moment. I was kind of into it. I'm like, oh shit. And then you see the Daily Buell, and I'm like, oh, who's gonna play J. Jonah Jameson, right? And then of course, it's the only person who could have done it, and who the fans really have been wanting for since Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
Yeah,
J.K. Simmons.
I love that they kept that, and
I love it, and they switched him up too, right? Like he's not technically the same. He's not the same J. Jonah Jameson as we had in Sam Raimi. This is more of a fake news. I know he's based off
Alex Jones type.
Alex Jones. I don't know anything about Alex Jones, but yeah, a lot of people are saying like that's kind of what he's based off of, like this time. But I'm up for that. He feels very much like a mixture of the Sam Raimi and the Spider-Man game.
Yeah, I get
J.
that.
Jonah.
Yeah, I love that. Another thing, like a gripe I had with the movie, but it made sense in the end. I thought Nick Fury was completely different in this.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's really different. He's not like he was in the other ones. And
something felt off. And at first I thought maybe it was just like the way they wrote him, or like just the way that they're going.
Yeah.
Maybe they're changing him up a little bit. And then the second time viewing, and I had like read it online, but like he says it at the beginning, right? Like Beck is from Earth, just not yours. Compared to actually in the trailer when he says just not ours. So it's like a slip up for I forget his name.
Well, there's a whole scene in the trailer that's not in the film.
Apparently that's supposed to be like a one-off that they're doing for Spider-Man. That's going to be in the on the Blu-ray release or
and we've talked about the Marvel one-shots, how we sort of miss those.
Yeah, I love the one-shots.
So, but yeah, I was sort of pleasantly surprised about that. And then at the end they show the space, and then obviously
Skrulls, there's a lot of shit happening there that I don't know where they're gonna go with that.
I think it's they're gonna move into Secret Wars and
Sword. A lot of people are saying it's Sword. Yeah, because they did that with the big ship. It seems to be they're going into Sword and Secret Wars. Of course, Secret Wars is the Skrulls being bad. So
and they turned that on its head.
They did. That's the thing with Marvel is that's why I was kind of ready for Beck to be a good guy, because Marvel likes to take something and kind of switch it on you.
Yeah, at least in the MCU.
Yeah, exactly. They'll take something that you usually know and switch it on you. That's why I don't know where they're gonna go with it.
You think it'll be just like Skrulls versus Kree again, like
or this like weird bad organization of the Skrulls that are doing this, like by themselves. I mean, every race has good and bad people, right?
Yeah.
Like the human race is a great example of that.
I really loved Happy coming in and kind of
Blipbeard.
Yeah. kind of, replacing Tony Stark in a way as like sort of a father figure.
Speaking of replacing Tony Stark, I love that scene where Peter's working on like the
On the new
technology,
suit.
and it's like it's almost like shot for shot, just like the exact same thing that he's doing as Tony did, right? In the past.
And he can't help but like smile.
And he can't-
I fucking love Favreau.
I know.
Like he's such a good like actor.
Me too. I really like Favreau, and this is a shout out to his Netflix show, The Chef Show.
Yeah, that's a pretty good
You
show.
should check it out. It's a good show.
Fucking really will make you want to grill cheese.
Yeah. I don't know, but all in all, I really enjoyed the movie. I was pleasantly surprised by it, but I'm always I've always loved Spider-Man movies.
Yeah,
right?
me
I know
too.
we're done here. But Spider-Man movies have always been great for me. This one is still one of the top. It still beats any of the Amazing Spider-Mans for sure.
Yeah, well, most Spider-Mans beat that.
I think Tom Holland is quintessentially Spider-Man. Like RDJ is quintessentially Iron Man and Tony Stark.
Yeah.
I think he's great, and I can't wait to see where they're going to bring that story, because they're bringing a huge story here. Because one, he's now known, his identity is out, and he's catered as a menace, which I've been waiting for, right? Like the whole Spider-Man's a menace. Like they haven't even touched that yet. Now we're into it. On top of that, and he hasn't even graduated high school yet. He's 16 years old. He's out, and he's a menace. Like that's huge.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see where they're going to take this series.
So in conclusion, we like Spider-Man. If you have any thoughts or comments, hit us up on Instagram or Twitter or on our Facebook page. Comment on YouTube,
really.
anywhere on the interwebs if you want to weigh in on what you thought of the film. And we'll be back soon with more stuff.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at Lost Commentary, on Instagram at Raiders of the Lost Commentary, and like us on Facebook.
I'll be back.